Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Ali here. And you know, on this platform, we have some casual conversations about sex, relationships, and other fun stuff. And if you've been following me for a while now, you also know that I talk a lot about sex toys. And I've been getting a lot of sex toys lately. I've been being sent sex toys, correction. Not actually me going to buy them, but me being sent them from sexual wellness companies who are looking to showcase them. Just in the last 6 months alone, I have accumulated, oh my God, let's open this up. A massive amount of sex toys. All right, we're talking like, what do I got? Can you guys even see this? Got like clit suckers, penis pumps, what is this? Rimming P-spot plug. We got eggs, we got male masturbators. I mean, I am getting stuff from under the sun, all right? We got butt plugs, we got magic wands. Like, I've got so much stuff. Oh, I didn't even introduce you to Aurora here. She was also sent to me, and I realize this is not necessarily the most flattering position for her, but she is heavy and difficult to maneuver. So that's how she is. She is wearing my pajamas. But yeah, some of you have been asking me how I choose which toys to talk about, which ones are sponsored, how I actually make money doing what it is that I do. So I thought that I would pull back the curtain a little bit and talk a little bit about behind the scenes of sex toy companies and how it works for me as a creator. I really want to be transparent here because yes, I do get paid to promote some of these products, but I also turn down a lot of offers, all right? Once you start getting into the sex education, sexual wellness space, like me, your inbox slowly becomes flooded with emails from companies asking you to promote their products and so on, and it can get a little bit overwhelming. And over time, I hope that I have anyways, and I hope to continue building a platform based on trust, education, and curiosity. So if you see me promoting one of these products, like a male stamina trainer, I'm doing it because I think that it can be genuinely useful, fill a gap in the market, or spark some curiosity and pleasure in your life. Because look, I'm gonna be honest with you, all right, from like behind the scenes of a creator with like a million gazillion sex toys, it might seem that I'm hypersexualized, like sexing every night, and I'm sex toying all the time, but it's not always the case, all right? If I am going to be promoting a product, then yes, obviously I am going to be trying it out. But if there are products that, let's say, I'm not being paid to test out, chances are it's probably gonna be sitting on my shelf because honestly, I do this for a living, but like, it's a lot. It's a lot, you know? So I definitely got my favorites in here, but it's really, really important for me as a sex educator, content creator, whatever you wanna call me, to build good relationships with sexual wellness brands because sex toy marketing is tricky AF. Now, you might think that sex toys companies have it easy because everyone likes sex, right? But actually, sex toy marketing is one of the hardest games in town. Now, why is that? So sex is still considered taboo. Although we have made so much progress in the world when it comes to sex positivity, a lot of platforms still treat sexual wellness like adult content. YouTube. YouTube, for example. Although YouTube, I would say, is one of the less strict platforms when it comes to all the social media platforms. They're very, very, very strict with sexual wellness and education content. I am not monetized on YouTube. I used to be, but I was taken away my monetization because of the sexually gratifying content. So I don't make any money off YouTube, all right? I make money, or at least some of my money, not all my money, of working with sex brands and promoting sexual wellness products through my content. And this goes into the next reason is that there's no traditional ad space. So companies like Lelo and Bathmates or Tenga, they can't just throw money at Google Ads or sponsor a big billboard downtown. Okay, that is heavily problematic, which is why they rely on content creators like me to promote their content, to promote their products, to give honest reviews. And you know, we try to work together to put out the best information as possible. Because again, sexual wellness is a part of our health, okay? Just like it is diet, exercise, sleep. These are all necessary fundamentals in how we function as humans. And thank God for these companies that put so much time and effort in creating, you know, these beautiful products that help us stay sexually healthy, that bring us pleasure in life, bring us fun, diversity. And, you know, if it weren't for them, then honestly, we'd be living a much more boring life. So another reason is that they have smaller budgets and much higher risk. So unlike popular fashion brands, skincare brands, many of these companies are small or independently owned. So even if their products are selling well, they are still dealing with so many hurdles. We got legal restrictions, payment processors not working with adult businesses, even banks flagging their transactions. So the money that they put into content creators like myself to post videos on YouTube, every dollar counts for them. And when I talk about the higher risk, they're not only putting themselves at risk, but I also put myself at risk. I put my channel at risk. I put my content at risk. Every time I put out a piece of sexually suggestive, I wouldn't even say suggestive, sexual wellness, education, maybe it's suggestive sometimes, content on YouTube. So that's why I usually charge a higher amount of money, because I am putting my platform and my life's work basically at risk to help promote these products. So the work that I put into the videos that I make where I'm promoting things to show you guys, I have to really work hard to try my best to work around the algorithm and make videos that educate, entertain, and yeah, sometimes, you know, show you guys some cool products like some anal beads. And yes, I try to be very picky about the brands that I work with and to make sure that they are creating body safe, consensual, safe, and pleasurable products for you all. Because again, there are a lot of companies out there trying to make a buck. I understand that business is tough, but when you start to compromise quality over quantity, then it starts becoming an issue, especially when you're making products that you're supposed to insert into yourself. You want to make sure they're body safe, you want to make sure they're fun, and so on. All right, let me sit next to Aurora here. So most of the time brands reach out to me. Sometimes I reach out to them. And there are different ways that we can do this. How weird is this? Oh God, I got a mosquito bite. All right, sit next to Aurora here. Okay, I realize this is very bizarre, but again, she's very heavy, so I'm just gonna leave her there. Again, super lifelike. She basically weighs like a human being would without a head and arms and legs. So there are 3 ways that this usually works. The first one is a free product. So someone will get in touch with me and they'll say, hey, Ali, we have a product we want you to try. Again, a lot of these companies have little or no budget. At the beginning, when I was making YouTube videos, I was kind of taking whatever I can get because I was learning about it. And when a brand reached out to me, I was super excited. And I was like, yay, a free gift, that's so fun. So when it's a free product, they hope that you're gonna make a video about it, but I don't promise that I will, because what if I don't like it? You know, like you can send me stuff. If I like it, then I'll talk about it. But if not, I'd rather not, because, you know, I don't want to promote things that I don't really enjoy. Then we have the paid sponsorships. So this is where a company will reach out and be like, hey, we want you to review this. We want to incorporate this in the video. Can you do this? And we will pay you X amount of money. This has been happening more and more lately. And when it first started happening, again, I was very excited because I am a new content creator. So as soon as I, got a deal with a company that I really liked, it was like, yay, I'm getting paid to do this. This is so fun. And again, sex toy companies tend to pay a little bit higher because of the higher risk, because there aren't that many channels that will, have them promote their product. So in that case, I really try to only work with brands that I really like, that I've used before, that have a really good reputation for great quality products, such as Lelo, Tenga, Bathmate, and so on. I've worked pretty closely with them over the last couple of years. We have a great working relationship. Their products are great. I love them. We do a lot of dedicated review videos, which I understand aren't for everybody on YouTube, you know, because it sounds too much like a commercial or too ad-like or whatever. But you know, it is what it is. Sometimes when people are doing their research on what kind of product to buy, those are the kind of people that are searching for this kind of information. On my YouTube channel, for example, I have a lot of those videos, and even though they're not the most popular, because again, it's very ad-like, it's just talking about a product, reviewing a product, most of the people watching those videos are those who are interested in buying the product, have a prior interest. So they saw it somewhere else and they're doing their own research online, or they have the product now and they're looking at people's experiences or how to use it and so on. And then finally, we have affiliate links. An affiliate link or an affiliate partner is basically a company of products that I enjoy, for example, and they either have sent me products, but they're not paying me directly to make ads. I choose on my own volition to promote these products, and you know, I'll say like, hey, check out the links in the description below if you want to buy. And if you do buy with that link using a code, for example, I get a little bit of commission off of the amount that you purchased for. So that's another way that I could make money off of affiliates. I don't really use a lot of affiliates. To be honest, I'm not really a good like sales person. I don't like selling stuff. It makes me uncomfortable to be an aggressive seller. So I don't really do affiliates that much. I do mostly paid sponsorships. Or if there's a product that I really, really, really like, then I'll just talk about them for free because it's something I use, it's something I like. So, you know, I want to share that stuff with you guys. All right, so let's talk about money briefly and how I make money online, because I know a lot of people are interested in that type of information. So as I mentioned before, YouTube is very sensitive when it comes to adult sex education content. So demonetization is a thing. I was demonetized and it was okay. Because I have sponsored videos, that helps me create the content that doesn't get paid for. And then I have the affiliate income, which lets me get paid only when somebody finds something that I'm showing to them helpful. So, you know, they'll buy like a thrust from Bellesa, or a zero flip gravity male masturbator from Tenga, or a sex doll from Tantally. Again, super unflattering position of Aurora, but again, she was super heavy and I like struggled to get her on the couch. She needs like a big burly man to throw her around. Now, of course, I also have my Patreon, which is a big source of income for me. So if you've never seen my Patreon before, you can absolutely do so. I'm gonna be plugging it in the description below. You can check out the links there. And it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. As a sex ed content creator, I post a lot of exclusive content on there, behind the scenes, travel footage. You guys love my travel footage. I've been starting to post some photos and stuff. Just like, it's a great little chill community that I've got going on there. And that is a big source of income for me. So I'm really, really appreciative because it helps keep this channel growing. It helps pay for my education as a sex ed student. It helps pay for these like sex travel trips that I take, and then, you know, share the information with you guys about what I've learned and so on, kind of like taking you with me on these trips digitally. So yeah. Now, if you're wondering, why do I do so many sex toy reviews? Well, the first and probably most important reason is that the sex toy reviews aren't just about the toys, okay? They're about normalizing pleasure and talking about it. And I'd say that that is something I am also getting more comfortable with. You know, I'd say I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to talking about sex and relationships and things like that, but I can still get like a little squeamish with some things, or a little bit like giddy and like, oh, that's so embarrassing. She said anal beads, you know, things like that. So this kind of content, learning about the companies, learning about their mission, learning about these toys, and practicing talking about it on a platform where other people are listening to me is a really helpful exercise, because I don't want to come on here pretending like I know everything. Whenever I present you a sex toy, most of the time, it's the first time that I'm using the product, okay? I'm not gonna lie and say I've used it for like so much, like for years, and no, it's like the first time that I'm using the product. So I'm learning this at the same time as you, and I'm just sharing my experience. Like I always say, I want to come from a place of experience and not expertise when I come at you with these things. So I want you to feel informed, curious, and empowered. And showing you the options that are out there means that you could really find something that works for you. Because, you know, sometimes like it's intimidating walking into a sex store, asking for what you want. But like, thanks to YouTube and to creators like myself, you know, we're showing you a bunch of stuff, male masturbators, anal G-spot toys, I mean, what else do I got here? I got the Tenga Puffy, another male masturbator. You know, we're just like loaded with stuff. We got the Womanizer Iggy Azalea, like she's doing brand. If you don't know who she is, she's a musical artist. Anyways, we got some great stuff and you could do your research online, order stuff online. So if you are too intimidated to go into a store, which by the way, sex toy store workers are probably like the nicest people that you're ever gonna meet. But yeah. Anyways, my goal is to make you feel excited about pleasure and not necessarily sold to. So next time you see one of my review videos, just know that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, okay? I really try to make the videos have an educational focus before talking about the product. So if you have any questions about how any of this stuff works, I'd love to be more transparent with you about the behind the scenes stuff as a growing, candid sex educator creator. Drop it in the comments below, let me know. And also tell me, what kind of sex toys do you actually want to learn more and see more of? I'd love to get that feedback from you, because if I do, then maybe I can reach out to some new companies or get some new products, test some things on myself, test them on my partner, test them as a couple, and share with you my genuine, honest, real review. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being the audience that wants to understand the why and not just the what. You are amazing. Thank you for hanging out with me and growing with me on this channel. And if you want to check out my Patreon, you can just click on that link below, or you can like, subscribe, share this video, whatever. Anyways, friends, je vous aime tous.